Aisha had reached puberty, it would still be a problem, because just because a girl reaches the age of puberty doesn't mean that it's a good idea to start having sex with her. It's a good idea to wait until she has finished puberty, i.e. wait until she has the body of a grown woman, because that's when it's far safer to for the girl to start having children. So even if Muhammad had waited until Aisha reached puberty, it would still not be a good idea if she was only 9 years old. But in fact, according to the Muslim sources, she hadn't reached puberty. And so what we really find from Muslims is, what we talked about previously, is that the Muslim sources say over and over again, like a beating drum, that she was 9 years old when Muhammad consummated the marriage with her. And the reason we go through the Muslim sources to show that is Muslims who are embarrassed about this want to deny, first of all, that she was 9. No, she was much older. And so once you prove conclusively that she was 9 years old when Muhammad consummated the marriage, then they want to change the response to, oh, okay, she was 9, but she had reached puberty. And so they're really looking for different ways to justify what Muhammad did. But we're going to read a few Muslim sources, and there are issues you can go into a lot more depth, a lot more detail. But we're just going to give a simple reason, according to the Muslim sources and according to the greatest Hadith scholar of all time, for concluding that Aisha had not reached puberty when Muhammad had sex with her. So let's go ahead and read a couple of sources. One, just a simple passage to start off, just saying that she was 6 years old when she was married, and then 9 when the marriage was consummated. So Sahih Bukhari 5158 narrated Urwa, the Prophet wrote the marriage contract with Aisha while she was 6 years old and consummated his marriage with her while she was 9 years old, and she remained with him for 9 years, i.e. till his death. So most of the passages on the age of Aisha are like this. They give the age of the marriage, they give the age when he consummated the marriage, and some of them give the timeline of when, how old she was when he died. So this is where Muslims will look at passages like this and say, aha, yes, it says she was 9, but she had reached puberty. And the basis for this is their thought that, well, he married her when she was 6 and consummated when she was 9, so he must have been waiting for something. What was he waiting for? Aha, he was obviously waiting until she reached puberty. Not so fast. There's more to it than this. So,
what I have a problem with is the attack of the character of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because you got to remember, you have the Quran and then you have Hadith. Hadith are what people think the Prophet Muhammad said. I heard him say this. I heard him say that. And some of those Hadith, his wife is the author of most of them. A lot of them. The Prophet's wife that they always accuse him of being underage with her and all that stuff, because I'm avoiding certain words for, why.
Sorry, we can censor it.
So they accuse him of being a pedo. Well, I would say if he's a pedo, then all of Europe, all of America should shut their mouths.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Pull it up, maestro. Pull up marriageable age in the USA, my brother. And I want you to read this now. Go scroll down. Now, this is up on Wikipedia, but you can do your homework because most of you don't. You want Danny to do all the work for you, and he does a phenomenal job, folks.
Thank you.
Scroll down. Okay, I don't know if this is what I told you to pull up. Go back up. Did you leave the ones I told you or no? Okay, yeah, go down. Marriage age in the U.S. Here, let's start here.
There we go.
Let's start here.
Colonial
Start at age of
America.
consent. Start at age of consent. Let people go do their homework.
In 1275, in England, as part of a law, the Statute of Westminster in 1275, it was a misdemeanor to ravish a maiden within age, whether with or without her consent. The phrase within age was interpreted by jurist Sir Edward Coke to mean the age of marriage, which at the time was 12 years old.
Okay, 12 years old. Now we're going to go down deeper into this. So 1275 is almost 600 years after the Prophet, and they consider this a normal age. to have intercourse. But go down. It gets
To
even better.
ravage a maid?
Go down even more. Start right there. Actually, go down a little more. Okay. Age of consent here in the U.S. Go down.
In Delaware, the age of consent was 10.
10 at 1871. Now stop. Pause there for a second. 1871, Danny. Okay. 1,300 years after the life of the prophet, peace be upon him. And they said, no, that's too old. No, 10 is too old. We got to lower that to 7. I don't know if that's because it's Joe Biden's home state. I don't know.
Almost 100 years after America became a thing.
Okay. And they want to go now and try to prejudge and not in context. So let me give the context.
Wait. Until 1871 when it was lowered to 7 years.
Yes, that's why it's Joe Biden's home state, bro. What? Delaware, man.
That's a lot of
great
a lot of people's home state. A lot of politicians.
Let's zoom out, Maestro. Continue down. 37 states, 1880. We're talking about 1,300, almost 1,300 years after the life of the Prophet Muhammad. 37 states set the age of consent at 10 years old. 10 states set the age to 12 and back and forth and so on and so forth. Okay? Hold that now. Let's go to the next one now. Pull up the royals in Europe. Let's pull it. This is America.
Yeah.
Okay, the age of consent was just changed a few years ago in New York. I think it was like 13, and they just officially changed it. Okay?
How long ago did they change it?
If I had a daughter and somebody wanted to marry her at 10, I would bury them alive.
Right.
I'm not defending in that aspect, but we need to put things into historical context. And we can't just point and say, oh, you Arabs, oh, you Middle Easterners, oh, your prophet this and you this. When let's look at Europe, man. These are the royals. People still love the royal
Look at Mary,
families.
bro. Mary was 12. She had not only was she married, but she was impregnated. She was cosmically impregnated
by the father. So was the father a pedo?
Probably.
But they don't have a problem attacking Muslims and creating Islamophobia and creating hatred. If we look at their ancestors, this is all of Europe. 15 years old, 13 years old, 12 years old. They were married. Now, there's a difference between being engaged, Danny, and consummating the marriage. They were consummating these marriages, bro. 8 years old to a 30-year-old. Look at Cecile of France. Okay?
Where's Cecile of France?
Right there, 12th century.
Oh, it's 12th century.
Okay.
8 to 9 was married.
Yeah, okay. All right, so look in the mirror.
Yeah, it's the stuff's ubiquitous.
Yes,
the stuff's ubiquitous.
Yes, because the rule of the world, up until about 100 years ago, really until feminism, right? Till their movement, women's movement.
Child trafficking was also ubiquitous back then too. Not only was marrying kids really young and then like doing like stuff with children like right after they hit puberty. I think the law in like ancient Rome was like if there was some sort of abuse of an underage kid, underage, they defined by prepubescent, it wasn't even like you don't even get in trouble. It was only like a civil lawsuit. Like I could, if there was damages, I could sue you or whatever.
These are centuries and centuries of the royals, princes, you name it, throughout all of Europe.
Oh my God.
Throughout of all of Europe. Yet most of the people that come from
8 or 9 Elizabeth of Cumin.
Okay, a Christian background here in the U.S. Go look at your grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, man.
They
were pedos. Bro. They were pedos. And you guys want to attack what?